All right. All right, folks, you are live with Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. And today I'm here with another pioneer who got a machete and a shovel to help pave the way for West Coast hip hop. My guest today is Arabian Prince. I'm going to call him the forgotten member of N.W.A., my homie, my Zodiac sign mate, another Gemini in the house, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Give it up for my man, Arabian Prince. What's up, Doc?
I'm in the house. Yes, sir.
Man, you know, Unknown just called me right before I came on the air to do this show. He said, man, Arabian is that dude, man. He is that dude that will drop all the information. He'll drop all the old history, and he ain't got no shame in this game about how he came up to be who he is today. And, you know, we go back, and I told Snake Puppy, I had an interview with Snake Puppy recently, and the reason why I'm doing this podcast is not to diss anybody, but we have a history that the average interviewer don't know.
Yeah.
You know, we go back to the cave.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we were spying like, what the fuck was this nigga? Arabian Prince at the cave. Let me go check the cave out. So the cave is one of those hip hop venues that nobody don't know about unless you was there.
Yep.
Now, what was that spot on Hendry used to do off of Manchester?
That was Mavericks. Wasn't that Mavericks
No.
Ballroom? No, Marshall's Ballroom.
Marshall's Ballroom. Marshall's
Yep.
Ballroom. That's what it
one.
was. We couldn't figure out what that was.
Yeah.
We couldn't figure out what. See, people have to understand here in the West Coast, we didn't start off just doing straight hip hop.
No.
We all transitioned from dance DJs, dance promoters, and the whole gamut. And man, you one of them cats that's been in like 3-4 groups.
Yeah, I didn't work with everybody on the West Coast.
I mean, tell them all who all you have worked with.
Man, so I started out solo, and I was telling Battle Cat just day before yesterday this story. I was like, man, when I came up, everybody had just started making records. Because I was hanging out with y'all when we was all DJing.
Okay.
And then y'all started getting ready to make a record. Y'all was like, we going in the studio.
Right.
Egypt was going in the studio.
Okay.
Everybody was gearing to make records.
Okay.
And I really didn't have no association other than the fools I DJ with. I wasn't part of no crew. It was just me.
Right.
So I was like, well, fuck that. I want to go to the studio too. So
Okay.
I never forget this dude. I saved up $500. And when I made the cave, the club, the cave, I was working at the pet store next door to the cave. And that's how I got that job.
See, we all had real jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I got to holler about that. Go ahead.
No, it's crazy because how I did it was I didn't even know about the pet store. I was working at like a luggage store in the mall, and I was working at a shoe store or something in Inglewood.
Which one? What shoe store you working
It
for?
was called Lafayette Shoes.
Okay.
And it was like putting shoes on old ladies, and I wasn't down with that. But
the old
I was
beige
making money.
ass stockings.
Hey, I was able to get a car.
Okay.
So
How'd you get the car though? Did you had one of the ladies bought you a car? You earned it.
I earned
How
that.
did you earn the car?
I
That's my
earned the
question.
car, but
How'd you
bought
earn
that
the car?
shit by
Before or
myself.
after hours?
It was before.
All right, I gotta ask
But anyway, so when I was DJing, somebody came up to me and says, "Hey, I want you to DJ my quinceañera, wedding, something."
Okay.
So it was at this hall, and the dude who owned the hall owned the pet store.
Okay.
And I DJ'd that night, and I asked him, I'm like, well, what do you do with this hall when you ain't doing events? He said, just sit here. I said, well, check this out, homie. You know, like, I'm, 16, 17 at the time. I'm like, I got a pretty big name in, like, the schools. I DJ dances here and there. Let's partner. Let me DJ here on Friday and Saturday. I could pull high school kids in here. So he believed in me, man, and we started the cave, blew that up. So long story short, did the cave for about a year. Y'all started doing music. Everybody started jumping into records. And I had $500. And I said, man, I'm about to go do a record, man. Everybody doing records now. I want to go do a record. He said, I'm going to give you another $500. So he gave me $5. I had $5. I went in the studio by myself, didn't know nothing.
Right.
And came out with my song. And next thing I know,
That's the Innovator?
that was Strange Life.
Strange Life, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And here's how it all came down. I go to Macola because that's where everybody was going to get their stuff pressed.
Okay.
I went to Macola and Russ Parr was there.
Wow.
Right? And he didn't know me from nobody. I didn't know him, really. And it was kind of like, what you doing? I'm like, well, I'm about to get this record pressed, you know, blah, blah, blah. And he said, let me check it out. He checked out my record. He said, well, who produced this? I'm like, I did. He said, you're a producer? And I'm like, yeah. I wasn't really no producer. I just done that one record.
Okay.
I was like, I'm a producer. Yeah. And he said, oh, man, well, how about this? You be on my label, and you can produce all the stuff for Bobby, Jimmy, and the Critters. So Arabian Prince, that's how I met Bobby, Jimmy, and the Critters.
Okay.
And started producing all their stuff.
Okay.
And I did Bobby G. McCritters. I did some stuff with the Dream Team. I did Smooth Legit, that girl MC Smooth. I did her album.
She's the one that died, right?
I don't know. Did she die? I don't know.
Keep
going. Yeah, but I did MC Smooth. I've done a lot of stuff on the West Coast with everybody, man. So
now, what were you using as equipment back then? Because there wasn't a whole lot of stuff back to offer back then. Man.
Dude, I did the first record with nothing because it just had equipment in the studio.
Okay.
But I ended up buying Yamaha DX7. I had a Juno 60, not even a 106. Mine didn't have MIDI.
Wow.
It was before MIDI.
Wow.
Mine had like CV gate. So I had a Juno 60, a DX7, and an 808. That's all I had.
That's all you had.
That's it.
How'd you sync that shit up?
CV gate. Because remember the 808 had CV gate too.
Right, okay.
And I figured it out. That's why I became like this mad scientist tech dude, because you had to know technology back then.
You had to know technology.
To make stuff work.
You had to know technology.
We had to lay SMPTE and lay CV onto the tape in order to sync everything.
So you lost 2 tracks on the 24 track just for syncing?
Just for sync.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, see, y'all don't know about this right here, okay? Now, when we first started doing this back in the 80s, all the SMPTE codes didn't even match up.
Nope.
If you didn't have, if they was trying to monopolize SMPTE, so all Roland stuff only matched up with Roland. Yamaha didn't match up with Roland, and Oberheim didn't match up with nobody. Oberheim was the first one, not the first one, but they was the one that had all the drum machine sequences together. That's what we used. That was our sounds came from.
Yeah.
And, and I tell people, man, if it wasn't for the technology, we wouldn't have been in the game. And, when we think about that, a lot of the guys wouldn't be in the game now if they had to go buy drum machines and keyboards and learn how to program it. But if the computer does all the work now, so, ain't nobody got to do a whole lot of nothing. I was looking at one of these pictures, man. I got to go back here, Doc. We're going to do a little clown session.
No, ain't no clown session. This is real.
Give me that. Okay, because that's what I'm talking about.
We're going to talk about that, too, once you pull some stuff up.
Now, this is Arabian Prince, man, from folks back in the day. I mean, he was probably the closest thing to Prince. If he had a guitar, he might be able to pull that shit off back in the day.
Hey, I had all the women, though.
I ain't mad at you. Now, as you can see, he had a very luxurious, moist Jerry curl.
I didn't have no Jerry curl.
What was that?
I keep telling fools I ain't had no Jerry curl.
Come on, what was that?
Dude, this is my hair. I just would put the spray in it. I ain't never got no chemicals.
No shit.
No, I ain't do no. That's all juices and berries. Yeah.
I ain't mad at you. Okay, I had to get chemicalized. Shit, my shit was nappy, no son of a bitch. Anyway, when we talk about old school stuff, man, some of our friends, man, they just try to alleviate this from their history. And I'm like, why do you want to do that? Why is that so important? You was a part of the same group, but how did you avoid getting clowned, or what did you do? People say, oh, man, you ain't no gangster. What was your response to that?
Well, I mean, you look at the first N.W.A. pictures, we all dressed the same. Like, Q had long hair, I had long hair. We all wore, like, tight pants. And, what was that store, man, in the mall? OUI?
OUI.
OUI.
Right.
Everybody was shopping at OUI with all the colorful shirts. I was doing like that whole time, man. And not until... a little bit later did we go to the Raiders stuff and all of that. It was just,
and people sometimes forget the evolution of a group like that, man. They forget the evolution. I stuck on that picture too long. Anyway, we'll come back. We back. So people forget the evolution of a group like N.W.A. and how they actually had roots prior to N.W.A. It was a road that led to that.
Yeah.
And for most of us, we all took different routes. But like you said, you did your thing, and you were part of the group, and I never heard you diss that part of your career, like my partners.
Well, you know what it is, man? I look at it this way. Because if you look at, and I'm going to go forward and back.
Okay.
Look at evolution, man. Look at the rappers now. Look at the Migos. Look at all the rappers now, how they dress.
Okay.
They out there, man. Like, I went to a thing the other night at the Regency or Regent, whatever the theater downtown. Right. They had a trap night. Man, them fools was like wild. They was wearing like leather and straps and colors, and it's the style. When we came up, you either looked like Prince, Michael Jackson,
or the time.
You was the time, or the time, or you was a mod. You was a punk rocker. You was new wave. Because I remember when I was in coming up, there was times where dudes would have this green stuff in their hair, man, just for no reason.
Right.
Because that was the style. Wasn't nobody clowning you.
Now, here, speaking of style, here's the picture of Bobby Jimmy and the Critters, man.
Yeah.
That's Arab in the middle, looking like a blow-up doll from the 70s.
Got buckwheat in the house.
Buckwheat, damn!
Yeah.
That's Russ Parr. Russ Parr, Bobby Jimmy, he was on the air with K-Day for a long time, but he also, now he's a big-time jock in Ohio or something like that.
He's syndicated.
He's syndicated. He's like the new Tom Joyner or something like that.
Yeah.
A good buddy of ours, and he's part of that era. And when I think about these guys that have all gone on to do big things, man, nobody has really showed any kind of regret from that era, except for my folks. That's a pet peeve of mine. You know, I love them to death, but man, we did this. This is how we got here.
I think the story got to be told. Like you can't be like, like it ain't like the Superman movie. Like I'm Superman,
right?
You came from something. How did you become Superman?
Or Terminator, just fell out the sky. I'm Terminator.
Yeah,
I'm coming to
there's a
save the
story
world.
behind everything. And what I try to, because I teach music business classes now to the kids and the people coming up, and I'm always like, this is how I started. This was the struggle. You figure it out. Like you figure out your musical journey, and then you get to a place and you be like, bam, okay, this is what works. This is what fits. And for me, I've always been that fool that wanted to do my own thing. So I work with a lot of people. I'm down with everybody. So when we did N.W.A, it was like we all came together and just did that thing. But I ain't never tried to like, I told somebody I said I was a game banger for 2 days.
What happened?
Day one,
jumped out.
Because I grew up. I was born and raised in Compton. All my uncles, you knew my uncles and cousins. You probably didn't know you know them fools. So did you go to Centennial?
Yeah.
So my uncles was the James boys. Wayne James, Charlie James, all of them lived over in Corlett. We lived on the dead end right there, right next to Enterprise Park. And the twins, Tyrone and Jerome, them all my family. They was the ones that was doing all the crazy stuff in the hood,
Right.
And they didn't want me in that scene, so they the ones that kept me.
Different era. They didn't want you in it. They wasn't trying to bring you in. They were
trying to keep me out.
They wasn't making it a family tradition.
Yeah, and I was a football player, so they was like, man, your career, you need to be a football player. I was a running back. I run a 4.19 40 back in the day.
No shit.
Fools were like, you going pro? We gonna keep you out of this. You do that.
Okay.
Here, go play with some electronics, and that's how I got into technology. Like here's a CB radio. Here's a ham radio. Here's
CB radio.
Here's a synthesizer. My uncle came back from the military. He had the first, what was that synthesizer? He had the, oh my God, the cord. No, it was the one that you put all the wires in it.
Okay.
But yeah, he had one of them, and that's how I got into all of this, man. But they kept me out of that scene.
Okay.
But, the struggle, like you said, the struggle was real, man. We was all growing up in the hood, but I ain't never professed to be a gangbanger. So one day, I graduated in elementary school, and we went to, what was that, grad night?
Okay.
You go to grad night, out of elementary, going to junior high, going to high school. Me and my boys, we all dressed up in khakis. We got remember they call them the Crip jackets, the jacket that had the little flap in the back.
Right.
And I had I could dance, so I had Dance Master on the back of mine, and everybody had their jackets with the letters on it. And we walking through, we weren't that Disney, we was at Magic Mountain. We walking through Magic Mountain like gangbangers.
Right.
Little eighth grade gangbangers. We got away with it at Magic Mountain because there wasn't nobody else there.
Right.
The next day, I'm at my cousin's house. He lived in Inglewood on the other side of Inglewood, 118th. Off of Crenshaw. Man, we go over there, and we coming back from the mall. We didn't pretend gang bang through the mall, looking all crazy. On the way back, we ran into some real gang bangers that was way older than us. Okay. And man, they broke my homeboy's nose. They beat his ass. And I didn't know my cousins knew him. So I was like, why y'all ain't running? But they knew him. They didn't mess with them. But them fools chased me down the street in the truck and tried to get at me. And I was like, all right, I think I'm going to go back to football and leave this alone. So for